viewing.
Very good evening. My name is Faisal Kassim and welcome to the live Real Talk. Tonight I'm honored to host one of the smartest brain that I'm a big fan of, by the way. I just confessed. I'm a big fan watching his interviews on other mainstream media stations and of course on other digital platforms. This is definitely a smart brain, an intellectual. This is a voice of reason, one of the brains that this country needs to move forward. This is none other than Dr. Fred Ogolla. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
How are you?
Kassim.
Doc or Prof?
Prof, I mean, but in our generation nowadays, we just like the name Kassim, Fred, because those are the names that invoke the memories. Remember, we share some backgrounds together.
Yes.
They invoke the memories when we used to walk in the Siso Kibera.
But again, I mean,
when you used to go and borrow salt, when you borrowed sugar.
Yes.
Yeah, those small things, yes.
When mom sends you to go and borrow from the shop there.
Yes, yeah.
Goodness.
Yes.
Prof, I mean, I wish we had time to listen to some part of your story. I mean, it's truly inspiring.
Yes.
Yeah? But anyway, Professor Fred, karibu sana.
Asante, man.
Right? In the interest of time, we're already running behind schedule, so just going to dig deep into it, right? We're talking about the impact of the Finance Bill 2023 on small-scale traders. A lot of people are talking about it. Huge politicization, a lot of politicization on the matter, right?
Yeah.
To some extent, the content of the bill is lost in between because of too many noise, too many politics around it, right? Razzmatazz, so they say.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So let's start by, what's your general feel and take about the Finance Bill 2023?
Yeah. First of all, let's understand why Finance Bill.
Yeah.
Normally, a country has a budget and then discovers that this budget of 3.6 trillion cannot be collected within the legal means. So then you have to, yes, of course, because, for example, look why I'm saying so, you cannot charge people VAT of 16% within the existing legal
parameters.
Means.
Okay.
You can't charge a house levy within
legal parameters.
You can't charge VAT on hair, on cosmetics. So you want more money, and you can't collect within the law. So what happens is that you propose a bill, the bill becomes law to legalize what was not illegal, what was not legal. You understand? So the Finance Bill is, it is a bill, but remember, after being passed, it's not a bill.
It's a law. True.
You understand?
Yes.
So which means that it is unlawful to collect 16 VAT.
Initially,
it's unlawful to collect a levy. And then once you pass the bill and it's assented by the president, it becomes law. So therefore, you are legalizing, or if you like, legitimizing what was not legitimate before. Now, the question is, if something was not legal before, and you make it legal, it may not be fairly good to the people. So my feeling is that Parliament, which is an instrument where all laws pass, all people are vetted there, it is the institution which can be used to legalize what is not legal. For example, Faisal, if you are appointed to become Chief Justice in Kenya, you don't have a law degree, isn't it?
True.
But if Parliament vet you, you'll become Chief Justice. Meaning that it's a place to clean, but also it's a place
sanitize.
But also it's a place to make people dirty. Look at the guys of IBC like Chereras.
Yes.
They were, again, mud. They put mud on you. For Parliament can wash you clean like snow, but also Parliament can muddle your whole career. So these are institutions which can be used for that means. But what my feel is this. Look at the Nation newspaper, which was there yesterday. They say 38.7% of Kenyans are in poverty. Meaning that poverty levels have gone up. By the way, I like Islam because when I went to Mombasa, you could sleep in a mosque because my first business began that way. So I see Islam feels and is in touch with poverty. So poverty levels has gone up. Inflation has gone up.
Unemployment.
Unemployment has gone up. the best way to do things is cut, not increase. And the tax bill has done the opposite of what is expected, to increase. Now, on the business person, I want our listeners to get this clearly. There are three main costs of running a business. The first cost is called cost of goods sold, meaning if you want to go and sell clothes, you go and purchase the clothes. So that is cost of goods sold. Now, there's a tax on cosmetics. Those who are selling cosmetics will have to go purchase the cosmetics, so cost of goods sold will go up, isn't it?
True.
The second cost is called operating cost. So to sell anything, you have to transport them, you have to pay salaries, you have to pay rent, you have to pay electricity, you have to pay, that is now operating cost. So the tax bill is going to increase cost of goods sold. You understand? The tax bill is going to increase operating cost, because fuel will go up, isn't it?
True.
Rent will go up.
Yes.
If you are cooking mandazi, oil will go up. You understand?
Yeah.
Now the last one is cost of capital. When you go to the bank to borrow money, because of what's happening in the economy, the risks are high, bank will increase their interest rate. So the three main costs of running a business will go up. Cost of capital is you borrow money and you have to pay interest on that money. So you see, those are main costs. They will all go up. Now let me ask you, one thing is that there are two ways. One, will you increase your prices and your customers are still willing to buy the same amount from you while the prices have gone up if their income does not go up? So it means that most likely, if you sell at the same price, you'll get low profitability because all your costs have gone up.
If not going to losses.
Yes. If you don't get losses, you might actually get small profit or actually just break even. Or what you can do is increase your prices so that you can be profitable, but your total revenue will go down, and therefore you can still end up being unprofitable. The best
turnover tax from 1% to 3%. This is a government that campaigned on a rallying call of Mama Mbogas and watu wa Piki and all that. Turnover tax from 1% to 3%. It is something that it's getting some warmth and cold at the same time. Some people felt that this is pretty unfair because, I mean, the business environment, considering that we came from COVID, after COVID we had elections, after elections we had global recessions, you know, we had the Russia-Ukraine war, we had the dollar pandemic now, right, that we've hit an all-time low of 140.1, and I just read in the Business Daily today, it's predicted that by next year, June, if things continue to be the same, we're going to be trading at 150 shillings per dollar, right? So all these things we are facing as Kenyans, but again, we've been resilient enough right now to continue those businesses. In the Kenya Kwanza's first budget, turnover tax from 1% to 3%. So people are really complaining about it from one end. On the other end, people are feeling that, you know what, at the end of the day, the taxes are justified because they are going to create an ample business environment for us to continue doing business. What's your take on that?
Faisal, you know, when you talk about a campaign, you talk about a government that campaign on.
Yes.
Somebody was making a joke in social media who stole Kenya Kwanza's manifesto, because the one they're implementing for sure is not their manifesto. When you listen to these guys, and in fact Kenyans need to listen, that when you have a government that is not run by economists, forget about advice. You can be advised by Economic Council. Those are forums created for people to earn money. If you listen to David Ndii, who is the chair of the Economic Council, whatever he says is the opposite the president does. Cut what they call wastage. Deliberate wastages. Are they cutting? Look at the parameters here. The budget is 3.6 trillion, isn't it?
Yes.
2.1 trillion is recurrent expenditure. You understand me? Around 800 billion
for development.
Will go for development. And then look at the money which has gone to the executive, the one which has gone to the office of president, the one which has gone to the office of deputy president, the one has gone to the prime secretary, which is actually prime minister. If Raila was the one who was called prime secretary, that office could have been a full office of a prime minister, because you see, there's what's called an office and the person in the office. Can you imagine how this office looks small, that sometimes some cabinet secretaries look more powerful than prime secretary? I don't think whether you can have a feel, isn't it? When Raila Odinga was the prime minister, people wondered whether he was the second to Kibaki or it was Kalonzo. But here it's very clear that the Prime Secretary is after Gachagua. It's clear.
True.
And no one has actually debated anything whether who is stronger than the other.
The Constitution depicts it. I mean, he's the principal assistant to the president, is the deputy president.
Yeah, but you see, before, even that could be possible with Kalonzo, but Raila Odinga was just Raila Odinga. Who gives, you know, even if you bring Raila Odinga now standing here and Gachagua here, you'll see whom the country gives more attention.
Yeah.
Even if you bring Raila here and Mudavadi, even if you take Raila and Mudavadi to hold the rally in Busia, in one part of town, Mudavadi in another part of town. Even if you take them to where Sabatia, where he comes from, you'll see Raila will have more crowds. Musala will struggle to mobilize a crowd. This is honestly that the person in the office gives office and power. And what I'm trying to say is, don't listen to anything these people discuss. Start listening to this person. And somebody says, you will know who Faisal is when you give Faisal power. So now we know what Kenya Kwanza is. We didn't know. So let's start dealing with them as they are now. Let's start predicting this government based on what they are doing, not based on what they promised. And if you look at it, they're mismanaging the economy. I'm an economist of the core. We've turned around economies in this world. I've done economic work for Greece government. I've done the one for the one for Italy. We understand that the decisions they are taking now are not economically sound decisions. Faisal, you said you follow me on social media and all my media platform. Go. You realize I have 16 articles advising Kenya why bottoms up cannot work, won't work, and was never meant to work. The budget was read on bottom-up approach, better, isn't it? It's not working. It won't work. You're being told the dollar is predicted to go up to 150. You're talking about the cost of business to traders. Look here. When you are traders, mostly SMEs, Kenya are not manufacturing countries, so we trade. We import things from abroad. When the dollar goes to 150, and you are selling in Kenya shillings, convert to dollar and import. Do you know it will become difficult to import anything? But if you import, they will be too expensive to Kenyans to afford. Because people are getting poorer. Now, the 38.7% of Kenyans who are in poverty, they cannot buy clothes, they cannot buy Mutumba clothes, they can't buy food, you understand?
If they're transacting in dollars.
Yes, so if they're transacting in dollars, there will be more poverty. They'll reach 40%, because when a plate of githeri, in Kibera I used to have it for 1 bob. Isn't it, that time? Maybe I had it for 1 bob. Now, if plate of githeri now goes in Kibera at 150, isn't it? It will go at 200. Some people cannot afford a plate of githeri. But again, some people who are eating 3 meals a day will start eating 2 meals a day. Where they were spending that money on 1 meal a day, those people have no income. So the economy is going to look bad for both traders, but also for the Kenyans. At the same time, we are not incentivizing people to come to invest in our country to help create more jobs, because this tax bill was put pay slip versus no pay slip. Let me tell you what, Faisal. I don't know that you still live in Kibera. But if you live in Kibera, do you know your pay slip is taking care of many people? Why you go buy your shoe, there's somebody who has no pay slip but is selling a shoe. Well, I see you with nice socks. That socks you buy is keeping someone who has no job but can sell a socks. When you go and eat something, you buy a watch, you buy airtime. So those with pay slip are bankrolling those without. So putting you pay slip versus no pay slip is an economic fallacy. Just like saying dynasty versus hustlers. Do you know that was a bad thing? In fact, if you ask me, Kenyans, the hustlers, will unite with dynasties to take away the ruling class. Do you know why? No, just get my point. The dynasties are the ones who invest in companies to owners of capital, isn't it? And when they invest in the economy, the hustlers get a job. So if you put a hustler against dynasty, yet the hustler works in a dynasty's company, you are creating an economic misnomer in a country. So what I'm trying to say is that these people didn't think about it economically. So if you say hustler versus dynasty, and you have a hustlernomics, you are killing an economy because there was such a thing. There was no division between the rich and the poor. We are coexisting. When your brother is rich in a family, you should be happy because when people are going home for Christmas, they can take you in a car. When they are poor, you are not happy because then how will you go home? You'll use a matatu. So I don't see why we are not seeing how people coexist in an economy, and I think this is what the Kenya Kwanza government is getting wrong.
It was all about empowering those who are the bottom, take them to the top, and invert the triangle.
It was about creating a narrative to win State House. That's all.
And now they're there. They want to uplift the Mamamboga.
They will not. Mamamboga.
The world is going digital, Professor, and yes. One of the things, one of the incentives that is actually coming with the new finance bill is the telephone and internet data services. The current tax rate is at 20% and they're proposing a 15%. I mean, they're taking the businesses to the digital world, where the world is moving.
Let me tell you what I do. You know, what there are some taxes, once they are introduced, they'll not be a positive sum game. You get my point? Mm-hmm. Even if you reduce taxes on digital content, but the consumer's wallet has been hit so hard by fuel levy, isn't it? House levy. Who will buy the content? Who are the advertisers? Cost of creating a job has gone. I can tell you there are some things, once they have been taken away, there's nothing else that matters. As far as I'm concerned, add those maths in an equation, you discover that Kenyans are left worse off with the finance bill and the budget than before. Remember that Uhuru spent more on development than this guy. You understand? The budget has gone up, spend on development has gone down.
Hold it there, because I'm being told we are due for our fastback and you need to pay our bills. I mean, at the end of the day, going to come back and talk about Kulipo Ushuru ni Kujitegemea, because we need those advertisements that we are about to play some of those sponsored contents for us to get mshahara bana. The payday is nearing, yeah?
Sure.
Wacha tulipe bill kidogo and then we'll be back in a moment. Please don't you go anywhere. I'm here with Dr. Professor Frederick Ogolla. I mean, amazing, oozing wisdom right here on Live Real Talk said. Don't you touch that down.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation. Verse of the day.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
وعباد الرحمن الذين يمشون على الأرض هونا وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلاما والذين يبيتون لربهم سجدا وقياما والذين يقولون ربنا اصرف عنا عذاب جهنم إن عذابها كان غراما إنها ساءت مستقرا ومقاما.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum and thank you so much for keeping it live real talk. My name is Faisal Kassim and I'm honored to have Professor Frederick Ogolla right here on set tonight. Oozing wisdom. Prof,
yes.
Kulipo ushuru ni kujitegemea.
Yes.
That's what the government is riding on. I mean, they don't want to borrow anymore. They want to develop the country. They want to fulfill their promises that they promised people in the plan when they were coming to the office. People voted for them because they believed in the plan. And now they want to implement the plan. They don't want to borrow anymore. They don't want to enslave us as a country. We've seen what has happened with other countries like Zambia and the likes. You know, as a result of borrowing or over borrowing for that matter. So they want us to pay more taxes so that we get some independence. What's your take on that, Dr. You're talking about taxes.
First of all, Kassim, the thing is that it is true we should pay taxes, but taxes should work for us. Taxes being high is not the issue. In fact, we have never been concerned about the highness of taxes. What we are concerned about what the taxes do. Out of the 3.6 trillion, only a shy of 800 billion will go to development. Yeah. There are 16 stalled infrastructure projects which were begun in the former administration, which have stalled. They could create jobs. Now we are shifting money to housing, which is not a priority. So what I'm trying to say is that where is the money going? And also the other thing you have to see is that there's a narrative which is misleading. Look at the real numbers. In the 6 months of President Ruto's presidency, he borrowed more than in the 6 months of President Uhuru's presidency. He put less on development than what Uhuru did. He has repaid more debt, he has repaid less than what Uhuru did in the first 6 months. So all the stories you hear in Kenya Kwanza is very good with narrative. Give it to them. Remember the day of election. Me, when I woke up around 11 o'clock, I found news showing that Kenya Kwanza has won the election. I don't know that you heard that. Itumbi is a great guy in media. By around 11 o'clock, it was like they won. So some people refused to go and vote, saying that he meanda. And some people voted them knowing that how they were machinda. So the narrative we get. But the truth is, I can tell you with certainty, I'm an expert in economics. I read World Bank reports, but I also read central bank reports. In the website of central bank, CBK, Kenya borrows 25 billion every Thursday. Every Thursday. Today is Thursday. Yes. Check, they borrowed today from the local market. 25 billion, isn't it? If they borrow 25 billion every Thursday, are they lowering borrowing? So the narrative we are hearing that let us collect taxes, we don't want to borrow, it is lie. Because if you look at the real number is that they are borrowing more than we borrowed before. So the truth is that we are still borrowing more. And that's why the president was criticizing today in France, was criticizing IMF and World Bank for making them difficult to access resources, which means what is also done from World Bank? Borrowing. So let's be honest here, this is all a narrative. In God we trust, the rest bring what? Numbers. And numbers are showing us that they are borrowing. And the other thing is that there are two ways to increase taxes. To increase tax collection. You can focus on increasing the tax collection or increasing the tax base. So why not just lower the taxes, allow everybody to consume in the economy, and then we have more tax base? It is as simple as such. Then secondly, stop competing. This is what you have to tell these guys who are talking about the impact of small business. Stop competing on getting money with the government, with the small businesses. The fact that they're borrowing 25 billion every Thursday, it means you and I has no access to that money to do business. What Kibaki did, he stopped taking money from the local commercial banks and allowed the commercial bank to by force borrow to you, lend money to you. But now, if you are a bank, a government that has securities and bonds wants money from you, and Fred Ogolla, whom you don't know where he lives, you don't know which phone he uses, wants money from you, whom are you giving money? Can you compete on security of an individual and the government? Never. So the banks are giving government more money and denying the local businessman money, and that's why go and apply to get a loan. They'll be blah, 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 blah. Then later they tell you they approve a quarter what you wanted.
Now, have you tried that, Dr.
It's a fact.
Have you tried it?
Yes. I can even quote my bank. I'm setting up a garage in Roosters. I was setting up a garage in Roosters. And I needed 1.5 million. When I sent them, they told me blah, 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 blah. They gave me 600,000 shillings. Fortunately, a client of mine paid me, and the garage is up and running. Yeah. What I'm telling you, any businessman listening to you will tell you I'm telling them the truth. When you go to the bank, what they ask you for, I don't know what. So the government can borrow money without any security because it's a security itself. So the fact that they're taking more money from the local commercial banks It is
denying
us potential. Faisal, I was a banker when Kibaki became president. My friends left the bank to go begin a business because they knew it was more lucrative, because credit was available, opportunities were immense, economy was expanding. Now, can you leave even a casual job to go set up a business? No. It tells you the business environment is worse, isn't it? Then it was vibrant. And I'm asking the president, stop borrowing 25 billion per Thursday. Let this money go to Kenyans. And they are borrowing it, whatever they are doing with it, me, I don't know. Okia Mutata said in open television that as far as I'm concerned, this government has paid all the debt. So putting how much debt they want to pay in the budget is cheating Kenyans. Now, what I'm waiting for is that Auditor General needed to go and do a report and agree or deny what Okia Mutata said, isn't it? This government is losing 608 billion shillings in corruption every year. Not my data. Go to the website of ESCC. They say it.
They're only 10 months old.
But I'm saying these are facts.
This one is it's only 10 months old. At least
look,
let's give them 2 more months and then
yes,
you can judge them,
2 more months.
2 more months. Then
2
you can
more
judge
money.
them on that.
So the point we are trying to drive here is the impact to a businessman, the small businessman.
Yes.
Remember, there's a problem they have. They have what's called credit worthiness. Big businesses, like for example,
the credit score, basically.
For them, for example, if Safaricom wants to paint a street, isn't it, with Safaricom colors,
yes,
they'll give an LPO, isn't it?
Yes.
You'll paint before they pay you, isn't
True.
it? Is when they'll pay you.
True.
A small businessman cannot give you an LPO and you paint for them, isn't it?
True.
Because there's a risk you'll pay them. So the small businessmen have the challenge of getting credit. Credit, not just money. Even someone working for them, everything is cash. A border, you pay in cash. The fan supplying milk, you pay in cash. Somebody bringing unga for your son, you pay in cash. Your staff, casually, as they leave, you pay them. Safaricom, someone work for 30 days to get their salary after 30 days when they have collected revenue. For you, everything you pay cash. And that's the challenge they have also. A government competing them to get credit is such a challenge. I don't know that you're getting my point.
Prof, I get it 100%. What is your advice for these small-scale traders? I mean, right now, things are tough and things are not likely to get any better anytime soon. We're anticipating. The Prime Cabinet Secretary said we're going to go through tough times. We give them 9 months, right? Moses Kura said we give them at least 1.5 years. Right? And things will get better. Things will get better.
Now
that's what they promises. So until that time comes.
The best way to do business, we have always done business in a very casual manner, but now we have to do a bit of science, isn't it? Like, for example, I'm sure you've done some businesses. Have you ever sat down and write a business plan? Have you ever sat down to know what is your break-even point? Like if you go to Kenyatta Market.
I have a business plan, but again, the numbers, as they say on the streets, the math is not mathing.
Yeah, so the math, but I'm trying to say, this is the time now you have to ensure that your math is mathing. Because then it will show you what to do. For example, I usually bring some students from Spain. I go with them to Kenyatta Market and tell them, that woman is selling bananas, is selling onions and oranges. How will you advise her when she goes to purchase them, what proportion of bananas, onions, oranges, that if she brings and sells in a day, including her transport and her salary, she can break even? Everybody just feels that if I go to Kenyatta, buy goods worth 10,000 shillings, sell them worth 15,000 shillings, I've made 3,000. Have we not earned a salary? Have you thought about the transport? Have you thought about how you are using your children to help you? In Kibera, it used to be in Kibera. Our parents were sending us to help them do their business.
True.
Were we being paid a salary?
No.
They could not even, so I'm saying now you have to understand ecosystem of business, do small planning and see how much. For example, if you come even where I come from in Ugenya, people go to Busia to buy some omena. But somebody goes to Busia to buy omena only, then comes to sell omena. But somebody is looking for, if I come to you, I'll buy omena from you, I'll buy onions from you. Tomatoes, because when the pocket is small, I don't want to buy here, buy there. I want dinner. So how much omena, onions, kitungu can I get and say, with you, if I have 250, I can go and cook. But if you don't buy those small things so that you can sell them, it's important. Then secondly, trade on what is called high penetration products. What do I mean? Do you know in every household there's an onion? Whether you are poor or rich, there's a what? Onion. An onion. There's tomatoes, isn't it? There's cooking oil. So when you trade on a product that people must buy, you have high conversion, isn't it? Because the economy is bad. You don't hold your money in stock, isn't it? In strategy, we call that lazy capital. Money which is lying on stock. If it does not move, so buy moving products. And moving products should be products that people must buy, because now you can be selling iPhones. How many people buy iPhone? When the economy goes bad, the middle class are now going to buy Oppo.
True.
So I'm trying to say, how can you start now buying things which are moving faster, so that I don't hold capital, because cost of capital has gone up, I told you, isn't it?
Yes.
So when you buy things which are fast moving, isn't it? It might help you. Then secondly, take advantage of your network, isn't it? This is the time when you can take networks. I'm sure there's now technology. You can put something on a WhatsApp, post what you can do. Of course, everybody has a WhatsApp where everybody posts everything no one is reading. Like during the finance bill, everybody's posting the bill.
Yes.
No one is reading. But I'm trying to say, try to bring an ecosystem of business walls. We are building political walls to show what Ruto is saying, what Gachagua is saying, what Raila is saying. Those business walls are not benefiting us, benefiting the politicians. But if I tell you, can you create a wall of people we can know what you are selling, what I'm buying, then we can work it. No, hiyo ni yako. Why are we entering business walls? It's hard to enter business walls. It's difficult to enter business world, easier to enter political walls. Let's start looking how we can support each other, isn't it? I'm trying to say now business must be done more scientifically and must be done with intention. And at the same time, let us find a way on which we can give ourselves what's called capital, isn't it? For example, let's try to trust each other, because these politicians are telling us wait for 1.5 years. Who will be alive by then if we don't eat? You understand? How can we find ways on which we can support each other's business and trust? In Kibera, we used to take salt for a whole month, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's when we pay.
True.
We used to take sugar for a whole month when we pay.
True.
Now that is done. That cannot happen, isn't it? People want cash.
Yes.
How can we start supporting each other and working together? Then the other thing is that do research so that not everybody is selling the same thing. Like in Kibera, if you go to that line of Katwekera, there's a line of Omena from here to the end.
Yes.
A line everybody wants to sell.
Because the river, you'll see people selling
what
do you call it, scrap.
To the end.
Yes.
So how do you differentiate yourself? By starting the same business, start fighting each other. Start to look for saying, for you, if you're buying scrap metal, me, I want to sell a wheelbarrow. Where someone can use wheelbarrow to carry what?
Yes,
scrap metal. Look for how you can start a business that enhances your neighbor rather than competes what? Your neighbor. Like now, look now, there's this thing which began on traffic whereby young people come to do somersault on the road, then they ask you for money. Now, everywhere that is happening. So you pass 3 roundabouts, you're being asked for money 3 times. This has become a tax to cross the road. So I'm trying to say, how can you start businesses can enhance each other? Maybe if you are starting a business or doing somersault, I should build a uniform for you to do somersault, rather than also me beginning. So those are some of the things I'm thinking can turn around the economy. But I can tell you, in spite of what I'm trying to say, there's some hope. The hope we have is that whether you like it or not, even during war, people will eat. So that is still a business you'll have to solve. Whether what happens, people go to school. So do your businesses around necessities. Leave businesses that are about luxury products, because luxury products consumption will go down for sure, because they need a what called disposable income.
Yes.
And businesses that need high disposable income may actually suffer. Then small business also can insure their businesses, because in this hard time, if fire catches up with you, you might struggle actually to come back, isn't it?
Yes.
So insure your businesses. At the same time, try to do businesses that have high conversion rate. And those things can be assisted. I'm not saying I'm selling my services, but I'm a consultant. That's what I earn my money on. But I'm giving you free advice today.
Free advice today?
Yes.
Now, kitaka kukupata, where do they get you? I'm also doing just, we say we support one another, right?
Yes.
So if they want to find you, where do they look for you?
If you just go to my Twitter handle, Ogolla, Ogolla, that's my Twitter handle. You can just send me a message on my line and I respond, but also my number. I'm very available. If you just Google Fred Ogolla or Frederick Onyango Ogolla, you'll find me. Of course, my number also is free to allow them to take if they want.
This is one man who wears many hats. You're also the chair of Uzalendo?
Yes. Operation Ugatuzi.
Operation Ugatuzi.
Yes.
And you've taken the government to court recently?
Yes, I've taken them to court, and also we are piling a case, a petition against the finance bill. I've actually taken Parliament to court 16 times. Hustler Fund, I stopped the board from taking office because it's illegal. I told you, these guys legalize things which are illegal. So the board cannot take oath office, they cannot discharge their duties, they cannot earn allowances. Hustler Fund is distinctly dead. Whatever they're telling doesn't work. Can you imagine a loan?
Budgeted way much more in this budget. But officially put it in the budget.
The government has disbursed 30 billion shillings in Hustler Fund, isn't it? They have 15% repayment rate. You understand? That means out of the 30 billion, only 5 billion has been repaid. Where will they get another wave?
It's guaranteed to be repaid.
They won't pay. Those are, I mean, a loan with 15% repayment rate is it's a dead business. Even if you are running a microfinance or a SACCO,
yes,
with 15% repayment rate, technically it's dead.
Gone. True.
So whatever government is saying, these are just people wasting our money. But they know what they were doing. Remember, there were how many transactions? 15 million transactions. They are the ones who are running a software that was running, so they are paying transaction fee. So if there are 15 million transactions, if they were charging 100 per transaction, it is them who are making money in Hustler Fund. But Kenyans, taxpayers' money has been lost.
We are losing.
If you look at the business model of Hustler Fund, it was meant to make the Kenya Kwanza government rich, but to make us very poor. So thank you very much, my brother.
Professor,
yes.
I wish you had more time. When can we get you next?
Next time, the finance bill is ongoing, and as we are going to court again to sue them against the illegalities in the finance bill, because we are waiting until it's assented to, because this is, you must wait for the law to be assented to before
then you can take it to court.
Okay, Mtata went too early. So after that, you will call me again. I'll explain to you the illegalities in the finance bill and the budget bill.
Looking forward to that. I'm sure you're also looking forward to that. I'm using this camera. I'm sure also looking forward to that. My name is Faisal Kassim. We are actually overriding with 2 more minutes. After that, Salma is on my neck right now, wants to kill me. Salma, apologies. I mean, I could not resist this wisdom that is being oozed tonight on the studio. My name is Faisal Kassim, and thank you so much for keeping it live. Real Talk. Prof, I guarantee you, we're going to bring him back on the set, inshallah. Keep it Horizon TV Live Real Talk. See you next week, same place, same time. My name is Faisal Kassim, and good night.
Bye-bye.
Prof, thank you.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you.
Yes.
Where?
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.